laughter is the best medicine, and we were able to laugh at just about anything. I remember working with you when you were my boss and we were prank calling your boss.
Thanks for stopping by. I'm Lily Fuller, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to this, the very first episode of Fuller Conversations. Your host for this episode will be my dad, Matt Fuller. With each of these conversations, his goal is to provide guests an opportunity to tell their story, introduced through the lens of their relationship, and the hope that they might unearth some nuggets of truth, goodness, and beauty in those stories. And he also hopes to laugh often. Now, we could not be more excited to share with you this conversation with my dad's very good and longtime friend, Steve Howe. I can think of very few people that my dad has laughed with harder or more often than Steve, and they've been friends through many of life's greatest challenges. Steve's faith and his love for God and neighbor are encouraging and contagious, and I think that will shine through in this conversation. Finally, let me say thank you for choosing to invest some of your time with us. I know time is valuable, and I hope this conversation makes you feel like it has been well spent. Now, without further ado, let's meet Steve.
Steve, I'm so happy you're here, my friend.
Well, let's start it over again.
One more time. No,
Right.
We've been friends for a long time, and I'm super excited that you're the first guest on this new series to platform my friends and to give them an opportunity to tell their story sort of through the lens of our relationship. And in a small way over time, that'll sort of tell my story too. So thanks for being here, man. Super excited to hang out with you, not only in this moment, but for the weekend.
And I'm glad to be here. And this is it's always an exciting weekend visiting, and looking forward to that. But yeah, well, let's start with, my name's Steve. Stephen, but with a V. So I always tell people.
It's important.
Easier is better. Just call me Steve.
Yeah.
Unless you just want to call me Stephen.
You've been called a lot of things.
I've been called a lot.
All right, Steve. So how long have we known each other?
Well, if the rumors are true, then more than 20 years.
Yeah.
30 years.
Not quite 30.
But pushing.
Close. Yeah, getting close. Do you remember how we met?
Not exactly, but I know the infrastructure.
The broad story.
The broad story. I remember we were both attending the University of South Alabama.
Yeah.
And I believe it was it around disc golf?
There was a lot of disc golf involved early on, yes.
I don't know if that was like the start or Risk.
It may have been. Not Risk.
We weren't there yet?
No.
Or the...
That's why we're still friends.
Yeah. But there was absolutely a mutual acquaintance that it's fascinating that how the turn of events with somebody who was, Facebook, you have a mutual friend, but it isn't usually a mutual friend that connects to people at that point of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Long before Facebook.
Long before Facebook.
And yeah, mutual friend connects two guys who become lifelong friends.
And the mutual friend wasn't, it's a kind of a, that's a whole nother episode or a series of episodes.
Yeah.
So,
it is. But thankful for that nonetheless.
100%.
Yeah. Do you remember any first impressions of me?
Well, through the whole, I don't want to call it an ordeal, but there were an awful lot of things going on, I know, in your life and mine, apart from you and I meeting.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember specifically through the mutual friend that we had a kind of a common, a lot of shared interests, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of my
unexpected.
first memories was I had some files on some old floppies that had been corrupted, and you had some utility that you could install to retrieve data. It was pretty cool. Kind of blew my mind. You walked in, you sort of reminded me of Kramer a little bit, and which was awesome. And yeah, you helped me. That was the first interaction that I really remember. And then I know we were taking the same Java class together, not the same time, but the same instructor in the same course.
That was what was her name?
Oh, you know my memory.
Well, you're remembering more things than me. I'm glad you remember. My wife, Jen, asks me, like what, like, do you remember when we sorry, but I remember, the big pieces, but yeah. So like dialing back to those years, interesting footnotes to all of these memories is I was put on academic suspension from the University of South Alabama, and I was kicked out of that college. And that teacher over that class was I might have played around a little bit. So
I didn't realize that class led to that
suspension. Yeah,
that's funny. Well, we don't have to tell all the dirty details.
Yeah. Well, it was a just to kind of get me off the hook in case my kids ever watch this. It was a few things. I did write something when we were messing with Java that would read and write to random bits on the hard disk, and then it would do an incremental formatting drive. Mm-hmm. And so we would load this in on all the back computers. I got accomplices to put this batch, load that into the computer so that when we left the lab and the next class came in, no matter what key they pressed, it would replace whatever they put with format C, and then are you sure, yes or no? And it didn't matter what they put, it would immediately start going into the formatting hard drive, and it would give you an increment, and it would make all kinds of noise because the hard drive was seeking sectors and stuff. And then they would go and get, try to get help and stuff. But it wasn't actually hurting anything. It's just a bit of a prank that we playing around with Java.
Yeah.
That was not why I got suspended.
Much better reasons than that.
Much better. Did I need better? Yeah, we did a group project together. We turned everything in. We thought we were doing everything correctly, and apparently we weren't supposed to be working together. And we were told
it wasn't a group project.
Apparently, we were told right before our final exam. The teacher who you had in that class then, she said that several of us had apparently cheated by collaborating on the last assignment. We knew who we were. She eyeballed every one of us in the classroom and then said that was grounds for permanently being expelled from the school. Mm-hmm. And I was so, I couldn't, because everything I had done was correct. Granted, the playing around in the back maybe wasn't my best choices, but as far as my assignment work, I had done everything to the best of my ability, I felt like. And anyway, so I spent the entire time coming up with my argument to place. She said she wanted to see us all immediately after the final exam. So I went in there. There were 3 other students with me. The 4 of us went in and they were like, well, we're so done. And I said, I think we'll be okay. Like, all right, go for it. So she asked us, what do you have to say for yourself? I haven't taken this over to the dean yet, but I'm going to go over there right after this meeting. And I told her, it's a little bit like C.S. Lewis in the Lord, Liar, Lunatic argument. I said, there's only 3 options of how that went. Either one, because we turned in all of our assignments rubber banded together, and half of them had my student ID on all the assignments. I said either one were incredibly unintelligent. I don't know which words I used exactly in that, but either we're so ridiculously dumb that we didn't realize that we weren't going to get away with it, even though they were like clearly rubber band, or we thought you were so dumb that you wouldn't notice that we rubber banded them all together and half had my student ID on them, or maybe we thought we were doing what we were supposed to and that it was legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, that's an excellent point. Very well thought, and appreciate you explaining it to me. And she said, I'm going to hold back from telling the dean about this. I'm not going to put any of you in for expulsion or anything like that. But I am going to see how you do on the final exam to prove that you know what you're doing.
Seems fair.
Fair, but I had spent my entire final exam time preparing my argument.
Okay, good point.
So I was on academic suspension, and the rest of my friends went on the next year. They were back in school.
Okay.
It was a blessing. I ended up, if I had stayed, well, I won't get into the ongoing saga of that. It goes on and on. Everything goes on and on.
Yeah.
But
well, and at the end of that semester, it was summer, and I transferred to Florida State at that point. So I guess that's how I missed the
fallout.
Yeah.
Just as well.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Well, that's a good story. So, this is great. It's paying off already. So that kicked off our friendship. I went off to Florida State. You eventually started traveling with AT&T and came through Tallahassee, and we spent a lot of time together there, and friendship just kept growing. So how would you say that you view our friendship now?
I would say it's probably it would be tough to put just into words what because I feel like we're at a distance. I've known you for such a long time through some pretty significant life events. Of course, I was there for your wedding.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, were you there for?
I feel like somebody told me not to come.
Okay, and if someone
don't read too much into that.
if someone goes digging through the notes in that, then I believe you were in school at Southwestern Seminary.
Poor, broke,
struggling.
Yeah.
College student over there.
Hard to come by tickets.
Yeah.
With a very young toddler.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we were having a very abbreviated, simple, quick wedding. And I really felt that it would be such a lousy situation for you to show up and for me to like married and off, and and I wouldn't get to spend time hanging out with you. Yeah. So I was like, well, let's if you're gonna spend money, or if I was, whatever we're gonna do, if we're gonna get together, let's do it when there's more time where you actually get to hang out too.
Yeah.
You and Mandy and your kids.
Is very thoughtful, but now the running joke is
the running joke. Who
you
wouldn't be
say,
at my wedding?
Yeah. And I
What
say,
kind of a friend? Yeah.
You told me not to come.
Yes. But through so many different life events, of course, with some deaths in the family, and and then there was certainly a window of unemployment where you came to my rescue, and then there was or I don't know if it was unemployment. I was looking for something else. And then I sold you on something else to do. And so at one point or another, either you were my boss or I was your boss. That's pretty unique in itself.
Yeah.
But what kind of, to have that relationship with somebody, gosh, I remember you were asking my opinion. I know you've always been into design and style and coming up with user experience and things. And I've always been generally impressed with your skills in that, but I remember you were asking me one time what I thought about something, and I did not hold back. There were, I didn't
As a good friend
sugarcoat.
should not hold back.
As a good friend. Yeah. But I remember I went through, kind of tore up one side down the other, and it said, "You made this, didn't you?" Yes. Yes, I did. Well, I'm sorry. I mean, it's not entirely bad,
Yeah.
But I think that's probably the biggest summary of where we've built on such so much that if you don't laugh, you're gonna cry, about the foundation of so many crazy things that that kept bringing us back together, and it worked out. Always there was a respect and a trust. It's with all of the obstacles, conflict, just goofy things. I think very early on, I think we learned that laughter is the best medicine, and we were able to laugh at just about anything. Even when I know there were times when I would frustrate the tar out of you, and we have very different personality types.
Yeah.
And I think recognizing that, and then recognizing that, at our core, I know your heart is never to harm me or to frustrate me. You do it, and I know I do it. I'm fully aware. I can, and there's times when, especially with our current employment and stuff, there's opportunities where I could do things differently. I know completely, but it's there's still. I think it always comes back to being able to understand somebody's heart and having a respect, and it's the same as you would strive for in a marriage. That someone's not gonna ruin that by intentionally making a bad choice. We'll figure it out, because it's not worth ruining all that you've built.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well said, man. Well said. Yeah. Thankful for you in that regard, for sure. Is there anything I don't know about you?
Aside from my academic expulsion experience.
Yeah. I guess we don't need to ask that question, or is already something I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think at this point there's of course little bits and bobbles through life that are inconsequential, but
yeah,
the things that that plays all into this. That I don't believe there's really much anything that for a long time, even after you moved to Florida, now technically a long distance friendship, for quite a while, even within my church family, I moved churches, and I serving as a deacon in that church. And some of the friendships that I built in the church, I would still call you, like when something would come up and I'd be stressed about something, like I gotta check in with Matt on this and get his thoughts. You know, it was still like this, like who do you reach out to? And in a way, that's not actually healthy for those immediate core relationships that everyone should be working on to build up within their church family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's also great to have somebody that's at that level, and I think that's super rare.
Yeah. Yeah, very rare. Yeah, I feel blessed to have that with you. Do you feel like our friendship has changed over time?
Certainly, I feel like as we both gotten married, had kids, and then stresses have taken us different directions, and kids have taken us different directions, and that's there's no curse in it. It's the blessing of life, but it forces us into different modes, and that's that healthy part where you really need to invest in who's around you.
Yeah.
But don't forget, don't forget your friends. One day we all need each other.
Yeah.
I think God doesn't cross people's paths ever without purpose. So
Yeah, that's good. All right, so we kind of touched on this a little bit, but we've worked very closely together now for over a decade at a large big box retailer, and our friendship has somehow survived some of the examples you've given already. How do you feel like that has shaped our friendship?
I think anything that survives has to make you laugh. I think there has to be fun, and you have to be willing to sacrifice sometimes to allow for the fun. And I think I remember working with you when you were my boss and we were prank calling your boss. We were, I believe we were using, was it Arnold Schwarzenegger or Judge Judy or one of them?
Yeah.
On a soundboard, and we had your boss on the phone, and I felt like we got him pretty good, and then a moment later he came running in and was claiming that the security was back tracing whoever was prank calling him. Yeah. And they were going to be in so much trouble. And then he's like, "Was that you guys? Wait, you guys?" And then he said we should unplug the phone. I was in telecom for a little bit. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But we still unplugged the phone.
He turned the tables on us pretty good.
They got you.
He definitely got the last laugh on that one.
But yeah,
that was fun.
I saw the same. How many times when we were at our the corporate office of the big box retailer, where people would come over and claim that we didn't have enough to do, and do you guys do any work around here? And the truth was, our own leadership would point out and defend us in that, these guys actually probably do more work than all the other ones around us combined. I appreciate that perspective. I don't know how true it was, but we did do. We always do hard work, but we make it fun.
Yeah.
Don't come in and do the daily grind.
Yeah.
Nobody needs that.
Yeah. You got to have fun. You got to be able to laugh. It's those elements that get you through the hard grinds when they come along. Yeah, that's good. So what do I do that you find just totally annoying?
Oh, goodness.
It's a long list.
Hey, let me pull that up on my phone.
Or maybe weird or funny or...
Sure. I think that the one of the challenges that you and I have had through our whole history is the same as where it's like there's a perspective on punctuality.
Yes.
And the perspective is one that is connected with respect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I don't think that's not something that you would do that bothers me. It's something that's that perspective that I'm able to like connect with. And I don't that's always been a frustrating thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I recognize it's probably far more frustrating on your end.
Far more.
Because on my end, I'm people. How many people have told me that you'd be really good? Like South American, where they're like the culture is. Yeah, we'll be there at 10 a.m. and then it's 6 p.m. and someone shows up for whatever event. It's like there's no. And that's no slight or anything. It's just that's how they are.
Why do we even have clocks?
Who needs it? It's just a stressor. But
The world would be a better place if we all just relaxed.
You know what I'm saying?
Let go of time constraints.
That's right. But did recently the personality thing, and I could see everybody else on our team all falls in this like structure, order, all this, and then I see where I am, and it's like pew 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 pew. Like, yep.
Yeah, which is a unique personality for a developer to have, I would think.
It is.
That's why the rest of the team is...
Can't stand me.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Yeah. So, Steve, what lights you up these days?
Well, I'm a bit of a hobby hopper. My current hobby is mountain biking.
Doing that with the kids?
Doing that with the kids, and I've been coaching a local mountain bike team, youth team. They recently sprung it on me that they want to make me not a coach, but a director. So maybe that's in my near future.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but hopefully it's not much. I said, here's all my other things, and I don't really feel like I've got a whole lot more room.
Yeah.
But I am unfortunately a little bit of like yes man, if that's right.
Not yes man, but like you can't say no.
I'm not a no man. No man. But I end up signing up because, and that's not a flaw. But it's like I genuinely find things interesting. I wish sometimes that there were more things that I would just not like.
Yeah.
Like sports.
So you're really into sports.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting aspect of 'cause I know that sports is something that you followed a lot more through life than I ever have.
Less these days, but
less these days.
Yeah.
In fact, I believe the last several fantasy leagues you didn't participate.
No, that's right. Yeah.
But I did. And I've been getting more involved in
Did you?
I did. Yeah. Actually, I want to connect with people. I know when I worked for a while with the municipal government and city, and I always would try to identify hobbies that others had and try to if I didn't already have some background in that, just make it my hobby too. Because I always
As a way to connect. Yeah.
and almost always without fail worked great because except for gardening as a kid, everything interests me. Now gardening interests me.
Yeah.
But
That's funny.
my dad, he was never he always I was always the tall, skinny kid, turn sideways, disappear. Wind would blow me away, that kind of thing. I was very tall and thin. If I didn't go into track and field, you know, my dad didn't really see that I had a good opportunity in like football or whatever. I did try out for baseball once, but anyway, I kind of got burnt a little bit with sports teams, organized sports, but I
Yeah.
always enjoyed playing when I had the opportunity, and I always felt like I was okay, to play.
But because your dad didn't encourage you, or maybe even discouraged you,
Right.
sort of.
Yeah. On the flip, I was always encouraged in music, and so I always pursued that.
Yeah.
Which then I see through life, like music is not where you may play with a group, you don't connect the same with others. And I remember even in high school, moving to Alabama, where we met later. But in Alabama, I joined the church orchestra, and they practiced on Wednesday nights the same time as the youth group met. And so for like my first several years there, later into college, but through those pretty critical years, if I had forged relationships with some of the other youth on Wednesday nights instead of playing an orchestra, it's just different pursuit. It's interesting how they take you in a different path.
Yeah.
But I can't look back at that and say, in my mind, I think, well, I know better maybe than God, who took me down this, who kind of steered my life that way.
Yeah.
Where would that have gone? I don't know.
And you're using the music now.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's an escape, and it's a passion that I share with my kids.
Yeah.
And and I'm with the worship team at my church now. So
Yeah. So Steve, what's a story about you that people need to hear?
I feel that my purpose and everybody, I feel like everybody is looking for success. They're looking to maybe obtain a certain level, or what does winning look like? And I feel like that's a set of tracks that is almost always laid down by the individual. It's often close or way off track than from where it ought to be. I've had situations in life that were beyond. It's kind of like when you end up somewhere and you feel like you're being used by God, and you can't look back. That's like there's so many things that had to be a certain way for you to end up in that place, and without question that's where you're supposed to be, and it was because you're obedient. that's rich. A lot of times you end up someplace and you might recognize that's where you need to be, and it would be due to disobedience. That's still amazing. And so there's been a number of situations, though, where I knew I probably wouldn't have been there, except that I kind of got lost in a overhearing something and just feeling compelled to respond to it that felt weird. So I think I remember it was after my dad had died, and I had stayed with my mom for a bit. Jen and the kids had come back home, and so I was going to come back a little bit later. I was still working through things, processing stuff, dealing with the loss. It's a good time spending with my mom. Then I took a bus ride back, and I remember recounting that because it was crazy. It just, like, maybe a little bit foolish, but I didn't feel it at the time. And in that moment, so I boarded a Greyhound bus. And if you ever want to have a story to tell, just take a bus trip. Yeah, it's gonna happen. Maybe, well, okay. So that, like, is that something that everybody should be signing up for? Maybe, maybe not. But I remember on the bus ride, there were a couple of gentlemen one was in a wheelchair, I believe, and the other one seemed to be his friend. And I kept hearing them talking about trying to get to his mom at not the wheelchair, trying to get to his mom. I guess his parents maybe had a farm or had some agricultural land of some sort, and he was sure that he could go there and work for them, and they would help him out. And he was sure that they could help out his friend if they could just get back there. And they weren't talking loud to be overheard or anything like this. It was kind of low murmur between them, but I was sitting right nearby, and started praying about it, and really felt like there was something that I could do. And it wasn't much, but I remember I went with them, and I called them off when we got to Atlanta. That was they had to figure out the next step from there. So we all got off together. Immediately, a police officer came by and told everyone he couldn't loiter. I knew where I was headed, back home, and I knew that they were struggling. So I called them off to the side, and then I said, guys, I think I can help you out. And so I went for a walk to the nearest grocery store, got him a sandwich, and I asked him for more details. And then it was such a natural segue from talking with them to praying with them and seeking God's will for them in their lives. It felt like everything was functioning, and it's like in all the dysfunction that was clearly on display with their lives, and just even in all of our situations, the tragedy of the loss that we're all going through, all walking through some rough stuff. But I had the answer. Ultimately, none of this is relevant. A guy came up and said, "Mister, I don't know who you are, but you don't want to stick around in this place much longer. You're drawing attention or something." He knew that I didn't belong there, maybe, I guess, was that. But my response, I felt like, I'm like, this is exactly where I need to be. Like, I hear you and I appreciate it, I'm gonna be okay. And I had overwhelming comfort, peace about all of it. The whole interaction, giving those guys a hug and providing what I could to help them out for their next step to get wherever they were going. And they reached out a bit. We lost touch shortly after. They didn't really have the means to maintain that, I guess. But I still think every once in a while, probably about those two guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I think how many, they're not the only ones I've run into, but I feel like when I'm in the right spot, those stories happen frequently. And when I'm not, I'd say it's another sort of tragedy is those stories don't happen often enough. You know?
I don't know that I know another person that has had more encounters with people in need like that than you. Yeah, God's used you in a lot of people's lives that way. That's one of the things I love about you is you've never met a stranger. Like part of it is your personality. I think it's fair to say you're an extrovert. You love to have as long as a conversation as possible with everybody you come into contact with. But God has created you that way, and He's used it many times. One of your greatest strengths, I think. Sometimes frustrating to people who are worried about time. But a great skill. I've seen you use it to build bridges across even teams at work, and create good relationships with folk. You've as God is in the habit of doing, turning enemies into friends. You've oftentimes turned people who have been frustrated with us. I wouldn't call them enemies, but frustrated with us, you've turned them into friends. Thankful for that. So.
Well, over so many years, you've partnered in many of those conversions. I think, I say the skill that wins everyone over is to be able to laugh with us.
Yeah,
and I think like so many. And if we're patting each other on the back, you were able to identify so I may be the extrovert, but I'm also the conflict avoider. And to call somebody to task or, stick somebody, put their nose in something, probably isn't going to be me unless I'm backed into a corner. But I remember we did have a particular meeting where someone was calling us out for having poor performing product with what our team was developing, and that we would have frequent errors or whatever, and
they were falsely accusing us of that.
Falsely accusing.
Yeah.
We had at one point, but it had been years since we had any of the concerns remotely that he had been raising. And then I really appreciated that because that probably wasn't going to come from me. He said, when? When? I mean, maybe these days I probably would step up to that, but at the time, that wasn't me yet.
Yeah.
But you were able to. He's like, well, I don't know.
Show us some examples.
Yeah. Maybe there hasn't been recently. Yeah, how recent? When was the last time? And that was great because I remember shortly after that meeting getting a phone call from that guy, and he was saying, "Hey, Steve, I just want to apologize. Matt kind of brought me to task on that, and I had to circle the guys up and be like, when did this happen? Everyone is always trashing these guys with their stuff. When was the last time? It hasn't. We haven't seen anything like. So why has this come up and why? And anyway, and then he asked if it'd be prudent to call you and apologize with you, and he became he is still an ally of the team.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. But yeah, thankful we have that that tag team ability. We complement each other well in that regard, I think. Yeah, by God's grace, that turned into a good situation. It's just a matter of changing perception with truth. We've been working now a decade in trying to change perception and culture, and we've seen some fruit of that. There's still some of the bureaucracy and red tape that we struggle with, but I think we've made vast improvements, at least across the relationship front, with all the teams that we work with.
And with that, I think a big factor in like what we've seen, we've been able to see this because we've been there so long.
Yeah.
Our group has been is very well. I don't want to take the credit all to putting together because it's really been a participation of everybody in the group.
Mm-hmm.
We've all plugged in and like representing a greater than ourselves for the better of our whole group.
Yeah.
But I would be curious. We work for a very large organization. Is there any other group our size that has had zero turnover?
Nobody's left.
But we're all
That's a good
all
sign.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all the people that we've built those relationships with in other groups, everybody knows us.
Yeah. And now I'd say we have a pretty good reputation because we've done really good work and because we've invested in relationships. So 20 years from now, your kids are looking back on this. What's something that you would want them to know about you?
I guess it kind of goes to the story I picked, the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and looking back on the relationship I had with my own father, and with my grandfather, I had some really good role models. They weren't perfect, of course, but in the examples of what was good, there's a lot to take to heart. And I think from my life, looking back, I'd like what are those moments that were rightly traversed through life where I was living properly in submission to God.
Mm-hmm.
I think in all of my wild hobbies and journeys and wherever life takes me, I always tell people to go along. Like we were at a father-son camp, and I was trying to talk another kid into going on the zip line, and they had a ropes course zip line thing. He's like, no, it's too fast, it's too high, it's too scary. Like, you stay here and avoid it, it's fine. You may get another chance to do this some other time. Maybe you'll be more ready for it then. Or you could just do it now. Like, staying here will reinforce the you that stays. Go for it. And that'll reinforce the you that goes for it. And that's going to be the you that's exciting. That's going to be the you that tells the good stories, that connects with people who also have done this. The you that stays here, it won't have those connections. And it's boring. In spite of all my but my pressure, I didn't get them on the zip line.
Those were some good arguments.
I thought so.
Yeah.
But I try to keep that door from slamming shut. Like, just keep it in mind.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you're not ready just yet. That's okay. You don't have to do everything all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be time, but think about it. And next time you get the opportunity, don't dig your heels in so much.
Yeah.
Think about what difference it makes for your character and all of your future choices.
Yeah.
This is so inconsequential.
Yeah.
Or is it? So I think with my kids, I hope I portray that in my life, that I take the opportunities. Don't get mired in distractions. And this world is so good at distracting.
Yeah.
Social media is nuts. Here we are.
Yeah.
Everyone should watch this.
Right. But the other stuff is
But all the other ones. Yeah. Just understanding, like, there's a cost for your eyeballs.
Yeah.
And your
earballs.
Well, all of that is there's a fee for it, and there's a lot of people that are paying a lot of money to have time with get your eyes on their products, on their services.
Yeah.
And we got to guard that. And God is what's the word? It's an offense to God when our attention wanders and we consider other things more interesting than the one who gave us breath.
Have a finite amount of attention every day. Where are we spending it?
That's right.
Yeah, that's good. Your zipline story is great too. I think it speaks to fear preventing us from experiencing joy that's out there to be experienced. Yeah, it's good, Steve. I feel like I see you as a guy that loves the Lord and loves his neighbor. You're a good, faithful follower of our Christ, and you're a good friend. That's a legacy well worth leaving and emulating. That seems like a great spot to leave it. Appreciate the conversation, man. Couldn't be more thrilled that you were the first interview. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for helping with all the lighting and setting up the little studio we've got here and working through some technical difficulties. Now we have the rest of the weekend to hang out with our families.
I want to say, it's great to have the opportunity. I think this all is like unpacking a little bit about your character and setting up this sort of a product/service. you're packaging up something that is gold in its potential, and it's really and that's more of like I look forward to seeing what else you come up with your other opportunities to tease out, what are these things that are what makes us, what is the value that we have, why are we here, what's next. I look back, look to the present, look to the future.
Yeah.
Generational.
Yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity. Yeah.
Well, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. Appreciate your friendship very much.
I appreciate you appreciating me.
I can genuinely say that I love you, man, and thank you for your friendship and encouraging me in the faith many times.
Not you. I just only wish you had made it to my wedding.
I only wish you had told me to come. Thanks, buddy. This was great.